Hey everyone, I'm Dave. Welcome to the basement. Hope you all had a fun, festive, and safe New Year's Eve. This year, my wife and I just decided to stay home. We spun some records, we sipped a little champagne, watched the ball drop on TV. But before I let go of 2023 entirely, I wanted to start this channel for one and bring you an update from things I picked up in my vinyl collection over December of 2023. So to get things started, this is Bon Jovi's 1986 album, Slippery When Wet. Came out on Mercury Records, his third album, if I hadn't said already. And all right, so back in the 80s, as a teenager, you could not help know of Bon Jovi, know of his music, although it wasn't cool to be a fan, especially for Iron Maiden fans like myself at the time. But if you wanted to, associate with the ladies, you kind of at least had to have a conversational knowledge of his music. So over time, over many, many years, it's kind of grown on me. Now, I hadn't had this in any form in my collection in the past. I was really actually holding out for the sort of band cover that I guess was available in Europe and maybe Japan. Haven't seen it ever in the wild, so I just broke down, picked up a copy of the normal cover, and it's worth it. Just to have it in the collection. Comes with the inner sleeve, liner notes, and kind of a cool themed photo there. So yeah, this one has a ton of hits on it. This is the one that you really kind of had to pick up if you were at all interested in what Bon Jovi was doing. You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, which is not a bad song on its own. Raise Your Hands, Never Say Goodbye. All these super hits, definitely enjoyable. I had to have it. So anyway, that was Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet. All right, next up is a little bit more of a respectable album. This is Aerosmith's Get Your Wings from 1974. This is their sophomore album. This actually is with dead giveaway with the barcode, but this is a 1984 repress, but it's just minty. It was cheap, definitely something that I had to pick up. Comes with a poster, even the original poster, but I'm not going to open that up because it's just freaking huge. But this album, I really dig this album. This is a totally fun album. It's got Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, Train Kept Rolling, great cover. I mean, their cover has pretty much become the standard. Seasons of Wither. Unbelievably, though, none of those singles charted, which is just totally strange. Hard to believe that that's happened. But yeah, anyway, it's a great album. Aerosmith fans, you know this. If you are new to Aerosmith, this is a great one to start with, I think, because I'm really an Aerosmith fan all the way up until about '89. After that, I just can't stomach them. But yeah. Oh, and another thing, March of this year, 2024, this turns 50 years old, if you can believe that. So anyway, Aerosmith, Get Your Wings. All right, next from 2022 is this band's debut album, and I actually got turned on to this album from somebody on Instagram when I was hip to that scene. But this came out on Cruz del Sur Music. This is Sonia's debut album, Loud Arriver, and this is as you can see, a trio here. Now this band is actually comprised of three members they've got a history in the kind of the black metal, grind metal sort of scene. But this is 100% great old school traditional 80s metal. It's got super catchy hooks, great melodies, galloping riffs, all sorts of fun stuff. Here's just another shot of the band. on the inner with lyric sheet. And so yeah, like I said, came out on Cruz del Sur, their debut album. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite on here, but like I said, the traditional metal vibes are totally there. The vocals are kind of back in the mix, which is pretty cool. Definitely has some darker undertones to it, which I loved. But for me, When the Candle Burns Low and Fuck Then Die are two songs you might want to check out if you haven't heard of this band before. Now, kind of fun facts about the band. The lead singer, Melissa Moore, lead singer guitarist, she recorded with Absu on their very last album. She was known as Vis Crom then, or credited as Vis Crom. But prior to that, she was Matthew Moore and was in a band whose name I just absolutely love, Rumpelstiltskin Grinder, among several others. So anyway, none of that shows through on this album. I mean, maybe some of the darker undertones, but as far as musically, this is great 80s traditional metal if you're into that. Oh, let me show the label. Even the label's kind of cool. See if you can see that there. So yeah, definitely a band. If you don't know, you're into the 80s metal vibe, you're definitely going to want to check them out. So Sonia, Loud Arriver. All right, next up is a blind buy for me. This is a band that I had not heard of before, but I did see some things about them being synth-pop, so that's one of my weaknesses, so I thought I'd pick them up. And this is Shaking the Foundations by Rough Trade. They're a Canadian duo of Carol Pope and Kevin Staples, as you can see there. And this came out in 1982 on CBS Records. This is actually a UK press. This is the band's fourth album. There's the label there, UK CBS. It was not released domestically or in the United States. It was released in Canada, but as I said, this is UK press, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, synth pop definitely. To my ears, they're really kind of clinical synth pop. Carol Pope does have some soulful vocals, soulful vocal style. She does kind of, well, she reminds me a lot of Annie Lennox in the way that she can deliver both soulfully and kind of robotically, sometimes in the same song. A good example of that was I Want to Live. That was a good example of how she can alter her style within the same track. You know, nothing really stood out huge to me. Crimes of Passion, the first track off the album, which I guess was kind of a hit in Canada, was pretty good. All Touch, that I enjoyed that song. Which was kind of weird. All Touch actually appeared on the band's third album on US releases, but on this album it doesn't appear on the Canadian releases and only on the UK version. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, you know, overall I kind of felt like Rough Trade is sort of a second tier Eurythmics, if you will, but it's not bad, not great either, but it's going to stay. So here you go, Rough Trade, Shake the Foundations. All right, now this next one, I definitely have an affinity for Scottish bands and artists and Scottish female singers, and so this fits the bill on that one. This is Do You by Sheena Easton, came out in 1985 on EMI America. I believe this was her sixth studio album. So yeah, this one, it definitely is. I think it definitely is one of her better albums. It's not really representative of her earlier style, and it definitely, in my mind, benefits from some of the more dance-oriented pop production from Niles Rodgers, who worked with Madonna. But you know, even so, I think in the past Sheena has referred to this as the album that she most regrets, which is kind of weird. Kind of a cool picture there. But lyrics on the other side. because actually I think it was, like I say, to my ears, it was one of her better albums. Now, didn't really have big hits on here, no, although that's number, oh, geez, boy, if I can just spit it out. Do It for Love reached number 29 on the charts, which it's an okay song. She also does a cover of Martha and Vandella's Jimmy Mac from 1964. It's an okay cover, so that I think I also saw crack the charts somewhere, top 100 somewhere. But for me, I found that Don't Turn Your Back and Kisses were probably the two best songs on this album. So if you're at all curious about Sheena Easton, this may be a good album for you to check out, or if you're just a fan of 80s pop in general, this would be a good one to have. Like I say, not representative of her entire body of work, but it's something that I think stands out, at least in my opinion. So give this one a shot if any of that interests you. All right, and finally we have the 2014 self-titled self-released debut album from a band called Attalla, Attalla. They're a doom band out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and this was super cool stuff. Total stoner doom, super fuzzy guitars, great riffs. Now this is on black vinyl. They did reissue this, I think, in 2016 on clear vinyl, but I got the first press, so black vinyl. But yeah, like I say, it is super fuzzy guitars. They managed, which is a positive point in my book. They managed to avoid dipping into sludge territory. I'm just not a fan of sludge, but as far as stoner doom, this is excellent stuff. The vocals are a little weak, but they're actually pretty sparse. They instead just focus on some groovy riffage, and again, like I said, super great bass lines as well. There's obvious Geezer Butler worship going on. In fact, there's entirely Black Sabbath worship going on throughout this album, which is, again, just more points in my book for these guys. If you want to give them a try, I would suggest look at that song's Lust or Veil. Either one of those two would give you a good representation of what this band is about. So yeah, great, super fuzzy stoner doom out of Wisconsin. This is Attalla's self-titled album. All right, well, I hope you stuck with me as I stumbled through that vinyl update for December of 2023. Hope to see you back next time, and if you like the video, go ahead and give me a like. I really appreciate that. Maybe subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Till then, everybody, cheers.